All right. Welcome back, everyone. It's week 3, day 3, afternoon session. We're not having a career services guest session right now. What we're going to do is stand-ups like we did this morning, but we're going to just break it off into 3 groups so that it's you can talk a lot more about whatever bugs you're experiencing, debug with your fellow cohort mates and your TAs and me as well. And it's not such a long process, one at a time. Okay, so we'll divide into 3 and then we'll handle it that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start distributing people into rooms. So stick with me here. All right, so like we mentioned, we can share screens, debug a little further if we're having any issues. We'll just do normal stand-ups as we normally do. Alexi?
All right, yes, let's do this. Okay, so I have been working on my code for, slide this over here. All right, so I still can't figure this out right here, the whole logo thing, because when I go to inspect and go here, it pops up on the side here, right? So responsive, it just goes from here and then goes there, which is weird. I still can't figure that out. That's the one thing that it's still bugging me, because other than that, and I need to figure out how to square these up a little bit. But the other thing that I was working on is this calculator. So now I have it to where you could just go like 5 by 5, hit enter, it's going to give it 25, and it's going to tell you the price of a tile, hardwood, laminate, or carpet in that. So, and if you want to just go like you have, 2,000 square feet of something, it's going to show you how much it's going to cost in every category.
That's awesome.
So yeah, my calculators weren't working because I didn't have, so the in the code, I guess this right here is jQuery.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never used it, so I went looked it up, and all you had to do was add, if anyone's having that same issue, you have to add the script on the bottom for your jQuery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing that I'm having issues with, and maybe someone could help me out, is this right here. I'm trying to make these like round. I'm gonna do an overflow here, so that it's gonna be an overflow that's gonna, it's gonna catch it. But like I said, I'm so bad at Bootstrap, so I feel like I'm doing just a bunch of CSS, but in here,
Yeah.
just
No, that's not the way to do it. We want to really use CSS.
yeah.
Yeah. So you have border radius at a set pixel amount, 25 pixels.
Yeah, I tried just doing 50% on all of them.
Yeah.
So I tried just going 50%, but watch it work right now. It's gonna be
So
funny.
50% is going to work on a square. It's going to square out into a circle.
So see how it still does half of a square.
Yeah.
I
What you
did a
could
couple.
do, what you could do is stick that in a div and make that div appear as a circle.
Okay, so basically take my this row.
Yeah, that you're putting all that style to make look like that.
Wrap it in a div.
Wrap it in a div.
Okay.
No, not the well, let me see. What is the row again specifically?
The row is just where this is first row, and then I have a p tag underneath it.
Okay,
So
show me the page so we don't get into I'm just having doubts.
So this is my row, and then this is a p tag underneath it, and this is
Okay, so
another
the
row.
row is really just that.
Just this, yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to do it in a column, so it would be in front of it, sort of like my my drawing because I wanted this and then this
Mm-hmm.
and this and then this. Um, just so it like kind of uniform goes down, so it looks a little bit cleaner. Um, but every time I did this, I couldn't align the letters and I couldn't center them up for some reason. So
Yeah, put him in it. Well, you couldn't center
the
two things in a row
the
like that.
yeah, I for some reason every time I would do it, it would pop up high, and then I would square it up try to square it up in here, and it just wouldn't. It would just kept on wanting to be like almost position on the borderline, like between them. So I'm still
Like
messing with it.
I don't is because is it because you're using Bootstrap or you're not using you just don't have your CSS HTML working right? Because if
Uh,
I get if you saw that wireframe on a test, I mean
yeah,
that's something
that's
you would be
easy.
able to make.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's because I'm trying to do like everything in my HTML instead of like just saying, "Hey, I just need to do this in Bootstrap, in CSS."
Yeah,
I think I'm just trying to do like
yeah. I
I'm
see.
still like I'm trying to use like not as much CSS. I'm trying to use HTML and trying to use Bootstrap, but I'm not really using Bootstrap at this point.
Yeah.
Uh, so
You have to use the rows and column system.
mhm,
Rows and columns. Right now you have a row and then you have a p tag in the row. What you need in the row is that thing you're trying to circle as one column and the p tag as its own column as well. So one row with two columns inside.
okay. So yeah, so just split them up. Basically, do a. Mm, mm. I need to just draw it out and
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But
let
yeah,
me
this
help
is
you
this
draw
is
it out.
my
So this will
so
be a row right here,
yeah
right? That'll
yeah.
be the container for the whole thing. And then
You have
you
two
have,
columns in it basically.
yeah, the MK thing. And then,
Yeah.
all right, you got it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just go row, row, and in each row have two columns. And okay, that
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You make the first column just
Yeah.
equal 1/12, and
Yeah.
then you make the second column to be 11/12
Yeah.
because each row is divided into 12
12. Yeah.
columns.
Okay. So 112. Yeah. So it just takes one portion, and that's going to take the
11.
rest of it basically 11 of 12.
Mhm.
And same thing here, and same thing here.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
So what's
yeah.
with the issue at the top of the,
The top is this guy right here. So as soon as I get to it just moves off the page. It's not doesn't want to stay centered. I was messing with it, and so the one thing it might be the problem is it's in the parallax because I want to put it on top of the image, and
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe that's just not the right place that I put it.
Hmm.
So this is my image right here, and I was messing with absolute and relative, but I don't want it to be fixed. I want it to roll like that.
Hmm.
So so I'm just not getting it to stay. It just runs off the page basically. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So
I think
are you
that's why.
doing inline CSS styling because you're trying to use the classes from Bootstrap and then you're just
Yeah, yeah,
adding to that? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I know I shouldn't,
And you're
and
not
this is
targeting the class because is it because it's a specific Bootstrap class that you're not trying to target in your CSS or what?
because I don't really know if I target that class, I'm worried that it's gonna mess something up.
No.
So
No.
so if I just target like parallax, and then because that's the child
Well,
in like
yeah,
so
see,
dot
you have class title. Let's see, for example, class title on 89, right? If you target that on your CSS, you'll be targeting all the class titles. Just think of it as a
okay.
normal class, but it has those additional rules that already comes in with Bootstrap.
Okay. Okay, well, I should have just done that because I named all of them title and I wouldn't have to rewrite all this. Just
Yeah. You
it
got to
would
use
just
if you're going to use Bootstrap, you got to use their class names. And
okay.
then, and then if you add your CSS to that, you can either do it by maybe adding an ID, then you have a separate link,
Okay.
right? And then, or besides the ID, you can target the class itself by the
Yeah.
name the Bootstrap gives it. And
Yes.
sometimes the class names get a little long, like column one, medium, that's kind of hard to target with the class in
Okay.
CSS, right? So you can just
Yeah.
add an ID in that case.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just so I just don't know why when I have it like absolute top 200 and 300, right, which is basically center on a
Yeah,
full page,
yeah.
and then when I start moving it over, it just keeps running. What would be the fix for that?
I would shy away from using absolute almost
Okay. Yeah,
always.
I tried. Yeah, this is like I said, like it says here, it needs work. Um, I was already just trying different thing. I tried relative. Um, I tried relative, and it's basically doing the same thing.
So the image, the logo image is on top of your.
Yeah, it's on top of. So again, I've never used parallax or anything. I put it outside of the um outside of the body in the head,
Okay.
which I
Okay.
don't know if that's correct. When
Mm,
I was reading, when I was just doing some like light
no,
reading
you don't
on
want
it.
to. You don't want to add the style. Well, yeah. Well, you put the
So
style for it in the head. That's not
that's not what you do,
wrong.
right?
Yeah.
It
Well,
should be
you
in the
want to
body.
just do all the styling like what you're doing, all of it in CSS. It's like a.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing some crazy stuff here.
Yeah, yeah, or reorganize your page so that you can see all the CSS in one place, and then any bugs that you have, you're able to clean them up
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. So
With the
what do you?
image, I think the image, it doesn't have to be absolute. I think the image, all it needs is that the div that's holding that image to have the background as the image. Do you remember in one of the earlier lectures, I think Yancey was saying how he had one that was the image background, how it was different from in two different spots. It was a specific way he did it. I'll pull up the recording on
Yeah.
YouTube, and then I'll share that with you, that the
Yeah.
specific part.
So can I just move all my parallax stuff into my parallax or no, that's all. This should all be in CSS.
Yeah, you don't need this to be a
Yeah, okay. I
parallax. You
get
don't
it.
need
I
this
get
to be a parallax. Yeah,
Okay. So this needs to be in CSS, all this
yeah,
right here. Because
yeah.
I could see it now. Yeah, I'm just styling outside. Okay. So and because I have the image here, I could just put my um background image in my parallax here, right?
I wouldn't call it the parallax. Parallax is a specific effect
Okay.
that when you see them, like, do you remember Anthony's page as he scrolls through, he
Yeah.
has some images? That's
Yeah.
parallax. That's
Okay.
parallax. You just want to back. Oh no, it is parallax.
It is. So it is
Okay.
parallax. So
Okay.
what I want is this one to
Okay.
just be basically, I'm almost think what I should have done is just go uh margin 0 auto and save it. No,
What's its
it just kind of throws it off the side.
make it like a margin left 50% or something. There should be multiple ways to approach this. Okay. So now
So
50% of
what
it's
it
going
does,
to 50% of what container?
it's going 50% of the parallax container basically.
Okay, so you
That's
don't
what I
want
was
to
thinking.
do
Maybe
that.
I'm just in the wrong place and it has no like um should this image maybe be like in this container right here? Because it has its own container, right?
Yeah, what you
And
could
this is
do,
nothing. This is
yeah,
basically nothing. All it's holding is my image.
you could have it in the container,
So if I put
and
it there,
and then,
save. Oh, okay, that did. That's why I put it in there probably.
well, no, if you make it that, then if you make it position right from there, then I think, let's see, do it position absolute there
So,
as you had it.
position absolute.
Now where is it?
I
There
have
we
no
go.
clue. All the way on the bottom. Nope. Wait. Okay. It's nowhere to be found. That's weird.
Inspect it. Oh, and you're okay. Yeah, inspect and go open it up. Open up the body, yeah, and go to your image.
Go to, where is it? Body. Is it? No, this is gallery already. Nav bar. This guy. Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, click it. So that
Behind it.
it's behind it. So the parallax is over it.
So can I use
I gotta know how parallax works. Like, what are the
yeah,
CSS rules
I
being applied to it?
I have, that's the thing. I'm basically just doing a lot of guesswork here.
So that's what you need to research. How does parallax work? Why is it when you use position absolute on the image? Oh, is it because no? Yeah,
Let me
see the
try
the default CSS to
try
this one.
this. Okay, now it's on top. It was inside the container outside of the image. So now it's here. So if it's
But
position absolute,
we're back to where we started. Now we're just trying to align it so it's always like dead center in the middle, no matter how
yeah,
you
because we
adjust
do
it.
this, it still wants to, jump out of the
Yeah,
picture.
and
Because
that's because we're using position. It
okay,
needs to
what would it be? Would it just be like margin? What can I just margin it out to 0 auto, and it would be in the center?
let
And
me find a bootstrap thing for you. All right, so
okay,
let's move on to the next one, and I'll
okay,
link something for you
okay,
while next
yeah.
person's
But
presenting.
that's my last thing. I feel like if I do that, I'll be pretty happy with my page. So
Okay.
um,
Yep.
okay.
And if anyone else finds anything, any suggestions,
Yeah, if anybody has like actually like knows, I was actually gonna talk to Anthony about his because he did a really good job on parallax, and I was thinking after I'm done here, over the weekend, over the next week when we have off, I wanna split these up here and have like another image embedded behind it. So just like he has like 3, 4 images,
Mhm.
which I think that would bring out a lot more color, you know, in the, it wouldn't just be really bland like this. It's like, oh, okay, cool. There's no really nothing really in it. So I was thinking if I could do that, it would make it look really cool, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I already found an answer, so I'll link it to you when I
Oh yeah,
sure.
perfect. Thank you.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, okay. There. Top and left, make it 50%. Instead of setting it to a pixel amount, set it to percent. And
So
then
get rid of absolute completely.
here. No, let me just link it in the chat and you can work on it while another person presents here. All right, so the next person is Ben. Ben.
Hey guys. Yeah, so I'm currently working on some changes. I'm trying to lean a little bit more towards my CSS now to maybe try and adjust some things here to figure out some of the sizing issues and reasons as to why certain ratios weren't looking correct. So let's see. So right now, I no longer have the weird sticking out column. And I found out that that's because the stuff that was in this container was too wide. So just to kind of get things moving in the right direction, I just kind of shrunk everything to start with, so that I can get back to focusing on next steps on the rest of the shaping and attributes and stuff. Because I
If
need
you
things
put those
to.
images in a flex, if you put those images in a flex container,
Okay, yeah.
it'll probably just like go into the next row, right?
So specifically target the images or this
All
entire.
those images, yeah, all those images, you had to shorten the images to make it fit, remember? You had to shorten the image percentage size. Now the images are maybe too small.
Yeah, they're too small when you look at it with normal view.
Oh, I see, okay.
So I literally just shrunk it entirely, not to, I haven't like gotten into.
Yeah, I would just put, okay, that div forecast results, does it have display flex on it?
Let's see.
Forecast results, yeah, that's what you're looking for on CSS. Does that have display flex on it?
No, I haven't adjusted this yet. So
Yeah, so if you put display flex on that one,
where is it? There we go. And so this is, I was starting to organize. Let's see.
and then you probably, and now that you have display flex, you don't have to shrink it like you did.
Or to do 20%. The issue is that, nah, this is where I got to the problem was that, let's do 40 pixels. Because I can't do it necessarily ratio wise, because I have to resize each individual image.
Because they're different
different
sizes.
sources, different sizes inherently.
Yeah, so we can use the
is-
image resizer for that, right? You can just use the image resizer to resize them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to next. It was more that kind of seemed
Okay,
like another stage later where I should maybe start integrating, like at least just like line things up, like using display flex, justify content, stuff like that, to at least center some of these things out. So at least the spacing is in the right spot, and then work on this function working to spit out the correct answer right here. And
okay,
then come back to like the style of that to fit a little bit better, because I'm just worried that I'm not going to have like the script connected, because right now I just have a really basic idea that I'm assuming it's going to be some kind of like function that I can't remember if it's media query or what's it called when you do the query that changes inner text of another location than itself. Can't remember the word, but
I'm not
want,
sure what you're referring to.
I'm trying to make it so that when this option is clicked, it populates this with a
Oh,
list
yeah,
specific.
okay, yeah, that would just be the document query selector.
Thank you. Document query selector. So I just need to get that working on the JavaScript side of things. So I'm going to kind of lean more into just like centering some stuff. And then I'll go back in with like resizing images, because at that point I may have to get new images anyways for everything, because some of them I searched Google with transparent background in mind and it still didn't work, but then some of them it did. So I'll take those steps forward, and then hopefully have some updates after I grind through a little bit more of this.
Okay.
And
Did
then
you link
have
the
some
API yet?
No, I
Okay,
haven't even done that. So that's why I'm like, I just kind of want to be done with like the basic placement here and get those other features working.
okay,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah. Thank you.
All right, well, looking good, Ben. Mark, you're up.
Hey, okay. I wanted to apologize. I wasn't laughing at anything. There was a funny Stack Overflow comment.
Oh no, I'll never. Well, I have
Yes,
a story. When I was in college, I'm always in my own head laughing at memories or jokes. I was once laughing in the front row of a Spanish class, and the professor's like, she was like, "Why are you laughing?" I was like, "I just had a funny thought." She's like, "Well, don't do that in my class." I was like, "I'm sorry." It's just like, anyway,
I was the wrong screen. Here we go.
I had to go on that tangent. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. He said document.get elements by tag name body is like asking if there's internet in the world or JS in the browser. That's what I was laughing at, sorry. But basically on the break, I gotta get this out the way. I was focusing on the video logic so that when I press play, it shows the pause and you press pause and it stops. The only problem is like if you watch it till the end, the play never, I mean, the pause. Well, one, I wanted to get off the screen so you can actually see the video. But then also, once it's over, it still is paused and you have to play it again. So I have to fix it so that when the video's over, it switches to play. But I don't know how to track. I haven't looked that up yet, how to track a video to know when it's done in JavaScript. So that's part of what I'm working on now is to figure out like how do you tell JavaScript that the video is actually done? So
To start over.
yeah, so that it'll know that it's about to start over.
Okay.
It does start
there's
over.
a loop. There's a loop feature you can put on the video that would just restart from the beginning as soon as it gets to the end.
I didn't want it to do that though, because like this will eventually be like me talking, explaining a project. And I didn't want it to be on a loop, like maybe they don't want to hear me again.
No, you can have it on a loop, but that it pauses when you hover out. And when it gets to the end and you're still hovering over, it will just go over back to the beginning or something.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but I guess
Okay.
I wanted it more like a YouTube video, like
Okay.
what you know what I mean? Like when you press pause, then it kind of fades out. That's why I was looking at this page to try to see how to fade stuff out. So that the pause fades out and fades back in when you hover over.
What type of video? How are you going to upload the video? Are you going to record it as MP4 and then use those JavaScript features on the video?
Yeah, I honestly, I forgot I'm on Zoom. Sure, I honestly haven't thought that far ahead. Honestly,
So what you could do is if you just upload your video to YouTube, right, your own YouTube channel, and then you just embed that video like we saw on who was it, Isaiah or Richard's screen?
yeah, and do it that way. Yeah.
Ryan's, yeah, you can just pull it in there and it will just be a YouTube video. It'll have all the features you want, and the embed, the iframe, or what is it called, iVideo, whatever it's called, has all these features that you can add on to it that you're wanting to do manually through the JavaScript. So if you just upload it as a YouTube video, if you can check a YouTube video right now, you can just grab the embed and see how it's different, like see the default rules that they give you. It's a lot easier to manipulate than with the JavaScript that you're trying to do.
Yeah, I guess part of me was actually curious how it was done, and I want to try to do it, but I
see. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm using this more as like a learning project than anything else.
Gotcha.
But I can definitely do that to see how they did it and then try to use that as a template to try to figure out how to do it for in plain JavaScript.
Okay.
But so yeah, that's what I was working on there. Other than that, I'm trying to look at Trello. Well, besides working on that, switching the pause and play. Where's my JS? Took me a little while, but I figured out searching for the source and getting it to switch and learning how to use the element.style really helped because when you switch images in the source, like the CSS is different. So I had to learn how to use the style thing, which was nice. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay, and you're getting the source from the HTTP from the live server? You're not getting it from
Yeah,
your
because for whatever reason, like when I'm in the HTML, I can just use a normal path. But when I'm in JavaScript, it doesn't like those paths. So it makes me use like,
Oh, and it's because you're working with a live server that you have to use that path. So what if you just, instead of using a live server, I mean, I think at this point it's best to avoid it, and you won't need it in further stacks anyway. So
okay,
you can just abandon the live server now, since it's giving you this issue, because if you deploy this, it's not going to work on someone else's view. They're not going to have a live server.
uh,
So make it to a local images folder and then stop working with live server and just use the regular copy path and paste into
so then how do I look at it without live server?
right click it,
Right click,
copy path.
copy path.
Oh no, go to the file explorer. Sorry, go to the file
Wow.
explorer. Right
Okay.
click the HTML file from there. In the VS Code, you can just click that little icon. Yeah. So right click that HTML.
Oh, copy path.
Yeah. And then paste that in the browser.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I taught you guys live server so that if there's a bug, you guys are not, oh, because I didn't refresh my screen in live server. I already covered that step. But now, it's just a refresh. You guys are pretty well-rounded in the web fund, so you don't have to use live server, and you won't need it in the future anyway.
So all I do is just refresh it to
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's something that I need to do then, because even on the yellow belt exam with the thing I had to do,
Live server.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I should have realized that and just told you then. But okay, glad you figured that out.
yeah, but other than that, that's all I did.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you, Mark. Isaiah, you're up. Oh, you're on mute, Isaiah. Oh,
He's on mute again.
as he's just
Okay, I think Josh is messing with me, keep muting me.
okay.
Um,
Sorry.
I didn't do anything yet to my project, but I'm planning to working on to improve those CSS and do more editing on that, and then add some JavaScript like the idea Mark gave me to link my project to those icons for HTML and CSS.
Okay. Yeah, that's easy, right? That's just an A tag to the GitHub repos. So do you have your GitHub divided into HTML, CSS, JavaScript assignments?
It could use some more organization. It could be more organized.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. So then that's what you got to do. Thank you,
yes.
Isaiah.
Thank you.
Kurt, you're up.
Okay. So I didn't get to work on hardly anything because I had to go leave for an appointment between then, so I haven't even gone to lunch. But before I did that, I did manage to break shit I already had working, so that's cool. So let's look at that. Am I sharing the screen? Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Okay. So I want to do this thing. So for one, I want to understand why something is not working, right? So I showed you before about how I had this button click to where it would show the container, right? Like when it clicked.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the way I was achieving that was by setting the container to display none, and then having the on click be display flex, right?
Okay.
So I changed that instead to visibility hidden, and I wanted to change it to visible, and it does not work. I'm confused as to why that is. I have document get element by ID, the ID, style, visibility equals visible. Why does it not now? Because now it doesn't do anything. It doesn't bring anything back.
Maybe visibility visible is not a rule.
That's what I just looked up. I asked it what it was. Hold on, let me.
So if you go to CSS, you can find out. You can go to CSS and
So
just type in visibility somewhere. You're not going to apply this as a rule. Visibility, colon, and then see how you have all those options. Those are all the options visibility has. You can scroll
Right
through
here.
that. Keep scrolling.
It's visibility.
Oh,
It's
there it
visible
is.
right there.
Yeah, okay.
So am I?
Did you spell it right? visible. Visible.
Oh wait, what the hell is my life?
You're gonna
Oh
notice
my.
that all of your coding bugs from like for the next couple years are just gonna be typos like that.
Okay, so yeah, so let's see. Okay, so but now it doesn't have the fade thing. Okay, so now you had said this whole thing about this, right? So I changed the thing, so I converted the opacity effects that I wanted to from being a CSS class that I was trying to switch it to into JavaScript form. Like here's the ID, dot style, opacity, style, transition, blah, blah, blah. This also is not working. It has 0 effect.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to figure out how to achieve this because I know it can work if I call it the class. I've seen it work, but what I needed to do is be that in the beginning and have it switch on click. So if it's not ideal, as you were saying, to do that as it being a class or an ID, and then the on-click function changing its class or ID, if I should just do it inside of here.
Yeah.
So I would say, so hold on a second. So I would basically have, oh, did I get rid of it? I'm a monster. I don't even want to do this right now. What is my life? Do I still have it in here? Thank goodness. Okay, so here's opacity 0. Yeah. So this right here, these are the rules I would want it to have originally. So
Okay. So I think what the issue is, can you go back?
to JavaScript?
Where you just were like 5 seconds ago, the opacity. And you're gonna want to fix, or before you go there, go back up to the visibility rule where you had visible. You left it hanging. So you want to either comment out or delete it. Okay, let's go back to the opacity section below.
This or in the CSS? Okay.
CSS. I think what the issue is that see how CSS can read how their spaces, opacity is linear. See how they're highlighted in different colors? CSS is having no problem reading this as is, but JavaScript is not reading the style as well as CSS. I think that's the issue, because if we say some other type of opacity rule, it will like opacity 0, right? If you hard set that to the style before you change it, do you see a difference if you switch it from 0 to something else?
Yeah, so like it should be, if I apply this rule to this right here, it should work. See that?
Okay. Yeah. All right. And then now just opacity 0. How about the whole thing from 67 to 70? Yeah. Okay. And it still disappeared, right? So that's fine. So let's go to JavaScript.
And then when I looked it up, I found that JavaScript doesn't read this stuff the same way.
Yes.
So it reads it like this. Anytime there were those little dashes, the text becomes capitalized, and I have to put these as strings.
Okay. So let's comment out all the string rules from like 15 to 18. Comment out 15 to 18. And I only want to see I don't want to see the transition. So for the one above as well. So from 8 to 11. From comment out from 8, lines 8 to 11.
Okay, actually, hold on a second. I just realized I have this duplicate because I was in the process of working on it. So I'm just going to comment out that whole bottom. and then do this because it's supposed to do a check for either or, but right now I just need it to be
So
able
we just,
to do one.
okay, so we have a switch. It's only going to go one way. So let's try to
Yeah.
make that flip without
so-
the other rules. So
Right, so if I have this right, it should be checking if web dev, if web dev styles opacity is 0, it
okay,
should become 1.
but you're checking web dev style opacity.
Web dev is the variable I did document get element by ID, this ID.
Okay, and then you're saying technologies.style.opacity is
Oh,
one.
if it's another thing I didn't freaking change.
So do you want to say web dev?
I could, it would, but it shouldn't functionally be different, right?
Yeah, well,
It might
no,
be.
it is. Try it now. Refresh the
Yeah.
page after you save. Try it.
Okay, let's try this.
Oh,
Okay.
and you have to remove the hard rule that you put on CSS to make the opacity on the, yeah, you gotta take out that.
Well, I have to remove this.
Well, you have it set to so that it's invisible right now, right? You comment that out.
Visibility hidden. This, this should change that. It should, right?
Okay.
That's because
Alright.
that's what I already,
Okay. So if you test it, is it working?
it was working. Why is it not working now? Oh, because, oh yeah. So it's not working now because this portion is working, but
Yeah.
the opacity
Um,
portion is not working.
So okay, comment that out. And now save it and test it. If you click it, will it
Oops,
disappear?
sorry. So if I did that, save it, and I click it, it brings it back into visibility. So it's this
Okay.
opacity like effect that I'm having
The
issues with.
effect, yeah, you can change the opacity. It's the effect that carries with it. So we can
Yeah.
try to find if there's another way we can add the effect, or something in the rules that you're adding to the effect is what's making it not function correctly. So
Maybe it's this. Is it as simple as that?
no, that's a check. That's a question. You just change a statement to a question.
Well,
So you're asked, when you have a double equal sign, you're asking if it is equal to something. You're not assigning a value. You're not putting the value in the box. So
yeah, so this was the right way to begin with, right? I'm
Yes.
asking if it's equal to 0, and if it
Yes.
is, it becomes 1.
yes,
Yeah, so that's okay. So why doesn't it change it?
but I thought I just saw it change. You had it working.
Yeah, I did because I was messing with this stuff here. I
Okay.
brought this back in so I could test it.
Comment that out then. Comment it out.
Oh,
and
okay, so this is commented out, saved. Commented out, saved. This is the way it is. If this
If it's at
web dev-
0, then make it appear. Right?
Yeah.
Because opacity. What does opacity 1 mean? Oh, to disappear. Right?
Yeah, so right now it's basically checking to say, is it visible? It's not. If it's not, make it visible.
Okay.
And
So
then these are the timing for which instead of appearing instantly, it just kind of fades in.
okay. So if you click it now, does it work? Does it?
No, it just appears.
Yeah.
Or wait, actually let me make sure I saved both of these. So did I, oh yeah, because this is all out. So if I wanted this, let's say I did this. Let's just say it's opacity 0. So it doesn't even have the effect. Just right now, it is both hidden and has an opacity of 0. So I know that I know this works. I know that changing visibility from hidden to visible works. I've proved it. But now it's also opacity 0. So this should check if that's true.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the parentheses was red for a second, like there was something wrong with it. Okay, and so now if I click it, so behind the scenes, visibility changed to visible, but the opacity is still 0. This check for some reason doesn't work.
Okay, but if you still have it to hidden, how are you expecting to see it? Even if
No, but I'm saying I know that I can change it from hidden to visible because if I just comment this out right here, right, and I save it, right, it's still hidden, and I press the button, it becomes visible. This portion works.
Okay.
But if I change the opacity to 0,
Wait, hold on. Rewind for a second. What portion works?
this portion, document get element by ID technologies dot style dot visibility equals visible. just
Okay.
immediately
Oh,
just
I see.
changes.
I see. I see. That's inside the function.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's the
that's what's
first
working.
thing it does. So I
That's
know that behind the scenes, even if the opacity stays 0, that works. So whatever this is doing isn't working. The check isn't working. Or even if the check is working, the change isn't working.
okay. So then you have the desired effect now. You just need it to fade in, right?
Yeah, I just need to find the way that it gets implemented for on click
Mhm.
is what I'm trying to do here. And I
Yeah, you
don't
just add an
understand.
on-click. You just add an
Yeah.
on-click to it.
That is on click. That's the thing, is all the same inside. This is all the same on click. It's
Mm,
just this portion doesn't work. This check or this effect coming into being doesn't work, and I'm not certain why. In fact, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. Instead of doing all that noise, I won't even declare this variable. I'll just do this. .style.opacity. Should be the same thing. It should be the same thing. Really, I just made a variable. Ultimately, it's pointless because it doesn't mean anything. So I know that this path works because it's
Mhm.
working here.
Right.
So, and I know the style.opacity should be the same thing.
Okay. So
So this, okay, so this should work. So let me, so, okay, so opacity is 0. Nope, still doesn't work. Something
so
is
I'm
wrong with the
wondering what's
opacity.
I'm getting confused and I'm like in the weeds here. What's opacity versus visibility? Opacity is like how like clear it is, right?
Yeah, the visibility, I think, yeah, the opacity is like its transparency, I believe.
Okay. So I think that's what we need to understand, how the transparency rules work, because we're making it visible on click. I think that's what we were hoping for, right?
Yeah, now I just need the effect.
Okay, so now we just need the effect. Um, let me see. Let me think on this one a little bit while we go to the next one.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Kai? Kai, are you there? Okay, we'll move on. Anthony. Did I already? No, Anthony.
My internet cut out earlier. I'm not sure how stream this is going to be on my phone, so if it shits out, shits out. It's not even sharing screen. I pretty much. Oh wait. Haha. Is it like super laggy?
Yeah, it's like a little,
Okay, well, I got. I kind of stole the idea that Mark said with Isaiah to have these redirect me to proper links. They all work correctly. I'm not gonna. There's nothing really to them besides just that they bring me to a JavaScript section, an HTML section, and a CSS section of my GitHub. My 3 contact me links at the bottom. My mail works. I like this. Where you click it, you can send me an email. GitHub just brings me to the main profile for GitHub right now, like my main Anthony profile. My LinkedIn. LinkedIn's not connected right now because I don't have a fully fledged out LinkedIn account, so I'm not bothering with that yet. My 4 links at the top bring me to the top of the page, my about me section, my portfolio section, and my contact me section. I kind of enjoy how it's simple. Like it gets to the point. It gives a nice little blurb about me. I want to work on probably like an actual project to add to these things now instead of working on like spending a bunch more time like nitpicking, because even like the little stylistic things I added, I think they're nice. I enjoy what they look like.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, I feel like the colors that with the background, I feel like that's enough of a splash to where you don't want it to like you're gonna oversaturate it with putting it in between the sections. The little border around my face and little picture, like the little shadow boxing. I thought that was a nice little framing work. I might change the font. The font's all right. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's nothing groundbreaking or nothing like. But I pretty much finished just the basic layout. Like I don't know what else I should add to make it that much more intriguing. I'd rather just work on a actual project now, and not an actual project, but an actual thing, so I can like develop a portfolio instead of just the framework or just the
Okay.
skeleton of the website.
Okay. So are you dead set on the background being white between the parallax images?
I don't know yet. I think the white looks nice because I was matching with other colors. I even had a gradient to where the gradient was changing from this color. It would change to like this color. This color down here would change into this color, and like it kind of like waved with the background.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever the start was, but when I did that, like say if you're right here, the gradient right here would be really contrasting with the top. It didn't look nice. I changed it with different tones.
Yeah.
It didn't look good. It was just it looked very like I don't know. Like I like the idea of this thing as like a fancy resume.
Yeah.
So I was always under the impression with resumes like only like you're not going to tell them about your first grade karate black belt. You're going to tell them only pertinent stuff.
Right.
And that's kind of how I like the idea of this. Like it's clean. I don't know. It shows that I have an understanding. It shows that I can incorporate things once I get these fleshed out more. And these images will change. I'm not for right now, just because I don't have anything to put here. I will want to put in the future have a little like this is what I did with JavaScript. I do like the idea of having like this is what I can do with just JavaScript alone. This is what I can do with just HTML alone. This is what I can do with just CSS alone. Like that type of idea.
Yeah.
And once I get more understanding with Python and shit, I can add to this. Even the logos, I kind of like how I spaced them and like how I sized them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Nope. I think you put.
I'm someone who likes to clean this.
If that's what you like and you put the thought into it and that much, then I think you should stick with it. You're great. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks fantastic. There's a couple of things that I wanted to ask, and this is just suggestions. But when you say future web developer, a lot of recruiters will look at that and say, "Oh, this person is not ready because they're a future."
Oh yeah, no, this right here will change. It was my placeholder right now. Eventually, yeah, I'll change it to full stack developer, whatever. Just
and the other thing,
what I have for what I know.
Oh, sorry, it's lagging, so I don't know if you're talking too down.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, I want to make
sure.
But the other thing I was gonna say too is the top nav. Until you pointed it out, it was hard to see because it's kind of hidden behind the not hidden behind, but it's like hidden by the photo. I didn't know if you wanted to make it just a little bigger so it can be more noticeable because I didn't notice it until you pointed it out. And then the last thing,
I could do that.
Yeah. And then the last thing I was going to say is on your portfolio, I'm just thinking like, because when you build stuff, people are never going to really understand it as much as you do. On your portfolio, like just seeing the logo, I could imagine a recruiter like, where's the portfolio? I don't see anything. So if you say like, click me or something, like make it obvious that they have to click it, that would help them to know, oh, I have to actually click this image to get to this project. Like it's not actually just sitting here. You know what I mean?
That's a good suggestion. Yeah. It's
that
so
makes sense.
simple.
Yeah,
It's like
I like that idea.
Yeah. Awesome. Great suggestions, everyone. By everyone, I mean
Yeah, no,
Mark.
that's great. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's go
How
with
much bigger
Kai
do you
now.
think I should make that top bar though?
Double or triple it.
Double or triple it?
Yeah.
Alright.
At least double or
Oh,
triple.
and it looks good in at least on the iPhone 12. I thought the image came out pretty good.
Yeah. You're lagging out, Anthony, so it's hard to talk. Cool. All right, we're moving on. Kai,
Yep.
good to see you.
Alrighty. Okay, so I didn't do a ton during the interim. Where is I added some images. I kind of bumped this up into the image. I'm trying to stretch this out. I had it at one point. It was like it was stretched clear out to here, but then the image was like way over here as well. And then I changed some things and now I can't get it to stretch again. So I'm not sure why.
That image looks so familiar. I'm sorry. I'm paying attention, but that image in the background, I'm just thinking
This is Big Sur in California.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why. Yeah, I've been there. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways,
I think I've seen your background is Highway 1 on your computer.
On my, what is it? Which screen did I share that you saw?
I forget which. Oh, I mean, I don't know which one, but I think I saw it and I was like, that kind of looks like an aerial view.
No, that's the Mac default background. That's
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the Mac default background looks like Big Sur. But yeah, no, I position relative this over the image. And yeah, like I said, this box, I want it to stretch out more, but like the container div it stretches all the way, but this div in particular, it just won't. I tried doing like width like 75% and it won't budge.
So you want it to fully extend to the edge of the image?
Not fully. I just like I want this just larger.
Okay.
So probably
well, let's
over
see.
here.
Okay, let's inspect and click it. Click that one, that image.
Oh, inspect.
Yeah, on the div. So what is that?
Move this bar over here. You know. So yeah, currently with 75%, and if I go smaller, it changes. If I go larger, it doesn't really.
And you're using Bootstrap?
Yeah, I'm using Bootstrap.
Okay. So what you want to use is Bootstrap's large, small, medium, like size of the based on the size of the container, how many columns is that area going to take up?
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Narciso's lecture on that?
A little bit. I rewatched it a little bit, just kind of like skimmed through.
Yeah. Get to the column section. It's the first thing he does. Then he adjusts it for small, medium, and large. So based on the size of the screen, that's why you're seeing some effect for it on a certain size.
Okay.
So you can jump into we can work on this in my office if you want to jump in, but we got to close
Okay.
out the breakout rooms now. Fortunately, I'm sorry we have to give you less time, Kai. Is there
No, that's
anything
fine.
else you want to show?
No, not really. I mean, I've got these boxes down here. That what is position relative really the best way to like kind of get these? I wanted to make the image like be in parallax behind these.
Yeah.
But I think I'll save that for like something extra to do,
Okay.
just
You can,
because I'm trying to figure out Bootstrap still.
yeah, you can definitely set that div to have a background image and then move those images within
Oh, okay.
instead of using relative to place it over. So you just set a
Okay.
div to have a background image.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, meet the rest of the class. Oh, everyone's already done. Okay, so we'll just end the recording. Thank you guys.
Josh, I fixed it. I found out.
Oh, you did?
Well, I didn't. I had to go ask my patron ChatGPT why stuff works. So, and I get it. It's so the issue is about how document get element by ID works. If you'd like to see.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So show me. Yeah. Let's get on the recording.
Okay, there we go. Am I visible? Am I hearable?
Yeah.
So it's like this right here. So it works now the way I want it to. It requires a lot more finesse because I also need not any, if one window's open, they can't all be open. So I'm trying to have it if you open one, the other one. But right here, so like this, fades in, and you click it, and it fades out. So what ChatGPT said the issue is that the style property in JavaScript corresponds directly to inline styles HTML. If the opacity isn't originally set, so it's talking about when you do this, this returns something different. It returns an empty string even if the opacity is defined in an external CSS file or style block in your HTML. So what had to happen to get this to work was that I had to create a variable that did this and then call that variable in window.getComputedStyle to reach what I was trying to reach. I cannot achieve the effect I was attempting to do by just getting document by ID because of the way that it returns.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it was yeah, I'm gonna read more about this, but apparently that's how that works. So even if that opacity had been declared here or in here, when I tried to get it as like a portion of this ID, it would never find it because it just returns something empty.
Okay. Well, thank you, ChatGPT.
I know, right? And look, I had to ask it 3 times to understand what it was talking about. I'm like, is this right? It goes, no, you're dumb. I said, is this right? It goes, no,
That
you're
is
still
clutch.
dumb.
This would be I mean, I wonder how easy this would be for me to find in a Google search. But
Well, it might this portion of it right here, this was like one of 5 different ways I found for how can I make text fade in and out. There was like a bunch of different ways. I said, I'm gonna use this one. It looks all right. And like it turns out it was all right, but like the manner in which they were doing it was different from how I'm doing it, so I couldn't get the same effect to happen.
wow. Okay,
So,
that's something to ponder.
but at least there's that. And now I have to mess it up because now I need it to be, if I do that and then I click here, that one fades out and this one fades in. So yay. But
And
I
you want that quote dead center in the middle? It's like
yes, actually I'm torn between whether or not I want it dead center in the middle or up here like on a rotating carousel. I'm still trying to decide like stylistically.
you can make a CSS animation where when you come into the page, it fades in and out, like it blinks in and out and then moves.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think, is this to fade in and out and just switch between quotes like carousel style, but not like sliding in and out, just fading in and out.
Yeah, carousel has that Carousel has
Okay,
to
yeah.
fade in and out.
So, well, I mean, while we're all here, does anybody want to have a stylistic vote about whether or not this looks better at the top or the bottom? Because I'm undecided at this point. I kind of like how both of them look, to be honest.
Can you repeat the question, Kurt?
This quote right here, this quote line is going to be a carousel. Do you think it would look better here in the middle or located up here in the top like a nav bar?
I like it up top.
Okay.
I feel like it's right, and that's just my personal opinion. I feel like, yeah, like you said, up top it just feels like a nav bar almost, and it's like that's the first thing you read. When it's in the middle, it's almost like in the way.
It feels a
But-
little cluttered when it's
Okay.
in the middle.
If you put it at a nav at the top and you visit the site the first time, you feel like you're entering a strange space. You're like, what is this? Am I getting into a cult or something? But
Okay.
it's so captivating.
Yeah, welcome to Scientology homepage. We're happy that you showed up. If you would just click on any of the links possible, we're gonna get your information. So the joke here is that I asked for user input, but I don't care. No, I'm just kidding. I'll probably put it at the top. That was a unanimous vote for the top, so I think I'll shift it up there. I'm just happy to get this button thing to work.
Yeah. Okay. No, we can run on jokes for that for a long time, but I will close the lecture and I'll not hold you guys any longer. Sorry. So we're good to go, everyone. You know what? Let me just, for the recording's sake, because I know the other instructors didn't do it. Let me just share the calendar and everyone else will be able to access this on the recording. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a minute. Okay, so here we are. Tomorrow, I'm just going to sing the Annie song. No, tomorrow we are doing Python installation after our morning stand-up. And then we are going to do an afternoon check-in. So nothing much different than today other than installing Python. Okay, all right. So thank you guys and good luck to your projects.